Ready when you are.
Good. Fire!
What the fuck?
Zora Magdaros is one of the most powerful monsters in all of Monster Hunter.
You serious?
Okay, look, it's a bold statement, but it's true. Is he one of the 5 most powerful? No, but it should be stated that a fight does not define a monster's strength, and Zora Magdaros is the perfect example of that, as we set up the context for what we're doing today, which is my attempt at identifying, labeling, calling out, and then running the hell away from the 5 most powerful monsters in all of Monster Hunter. But in any case, let's move on from Mr. Mountain Turtle and have a bit of fun, lore, and discussion when it comes to the 5 most powerful monsters ever. I should say that Mr. Dia Morales is not going to be appearing on this list, which may be shocking given his Black Dragon status, but I do think there is 5 more powerful. I am going to start then with 2 honorable mentions. Shagaru, Magala. If we were just looking at the literal creature, his power, his penchant for destruction, his strength, he would be nowhere near this list. But it's not fair to just look at Shagaru Magala and his arms and call it a day, because he is the originator of, the commander of, and the spreader of the Frenzy virus, one of the most apocalyptic and destructive forces known to the Monster Hunter world, capable of ravaging an entire ecosystem, a country, if left unchecked. And that's kind of a big deal and kind of a big problem. So while he is technically in a 1v1 fight against any other monster, see who comes out on top the most times, not going to take any trophies, or at least not as many as my picks today, he definitely is worth mentioning in the realm of greatest threats. Though perhaps greatest threats is a different conversation than singularly strongest, so let me know if that's something you'd like me to tackle in the future. For now then, our other honorable mention for much the same reasons is Gaismagorm. He himself is incredibly powerful, probably top 10, certainly top 20, but the Curio Swarm, as I stressed in my video looking at just him, is a whole other level, a la Frenzy. Not only does it plague monsters with the afflicted status, a thousand biting through metal shredding leech bats is going to ruin, well, a lot of days, and that is a considerable factor that makes him at least very much worth bringing up in today's context. 1,000 ants beats Big Scorpion every time, and that's the Gaismagorm strat, only it's tied to, you know, Mini Sun Detonator Dragon, so it really is a step up. Alright then, let's have a look at my picks for the 5 strongest monsters. In at number 5, we have, well, a frontier influence. It's Disufiroa. Yes, indeed. Now, introducing, at World's End,
Poisonous.
under the light of the moon,
Ooh!
Disufiroa.
Oh, it's hand chest!
This is one of the 5 first-class dangerous monsters, ignoring variations and subspecies and the like, ergo a Black Dragon level monster, ergo something very much worth mentioning here today. He has the usualness of nigh impenetrable scales, ridiculous physical power for his size, incredible flight, and all of the physical attributes you would expect of so much power packed into a relatively small monster. But the thing is, you fight him in the World's End.
This is the world's end, man! I know!
This is a landscape ravaged, dead, torn, and destroyed. What do you think did that? It's not expressly stated that it is Mr. Disufiroa, but let's be honest, it was probably Mr. Disufiroa. How? Well, just when you first start the hunt against him, he launches arguably his most powerful attack with his own uniquely created Frozen Seraphim element, which is a combination of fire, ice, and dragon, which is already a ridiculous feat of power control. It is an apocalyptic storm of ice, raining meteors of destruction across the battlefield. That is next level, and it is terrifying, and it even has the power of one of the other most powerful monsters in all of Monster Hunter, Chipsaros! Where it will fake its death in its more powerful form and come back from the brink, though in base form, the ice statue that it becomes is the end of it, because like a lot of monsters who harness incredible power, once weakened enough by a hunter, they lose control of it and it becomes their own downfall. And Disufiroa really falls in that camp of,
You didn't kill me! I killed me! Because you were killing me! So there!
and I think he is definitely worth a 5th place here, and obviously a list like this is very much up for debate. There is lots of lore and lots of monsters, and you could argue a lot back and forth. Obviously, I'm kind of ignoring, like, variations or artificially hard monsters or, you know, stuff like Endgame Frontier that one-shots you every attack, but it's otherwise a normal monster. I'm trying to keep it lore, but hey, let's move on to number 4, and it is Alatreon.
Water. Earth. Fire. Air.
Yes, a black dragon, of course, and very much worthy of a list of the strongest, and you might find it surprising then that he is only in 4th place. The master of all 5 elements. I don't need to give him much of an explanation. Everyone has fought him now, whether his original form or indeed his beautiful reimagining in Iceborne. He really does inspire terror with everything he has at his command, and he has everything at his command. A sentient intelligence to rival that of humanity's greatest in the form of a colossally nigh unstoppable dragon with all the strength and speed to back it up, and a, let's be honest, nigh unrivaled elemental assault that also happens to be nigh unrivaled in its utility, vary, and breadth. So yeah, Alatreon very much deserves it. In at number 3 then might be one of my most contentious picks. Oltura, our final boss from Monster Hunter Stories 2, a white dragon. And indeed we know that color and dragon equals powerful monster. The black dragons, the red dragon, we'll get to that, but it's no coincidence that Oltura, who is capable of disintegrating matter to an atomic dust level in an instant, of course deserves that aesthetic of white dragon, though technically not his official title, which is why he is only 3rd and not higher, but the Wings of Ruin, the Exalted One, those 6 elemental destruction flappers that he calls aviation lifters. I need to stop trying to vary my language too much. Like, I don't want to say wings again. I know aviation lifters. What the hell am I doing? Also, Alatreon-esque in all 5 elements, so we know that instantly gives him a massive boost in power. It's incredible that we got a second monster that could actually command everything, but there is no doubt of his strength. On top of his larval form being earth-boring, continent-spreading tentacles that can grab anything and devour it from the rage raid holes of doom, that is impressive unto itself, and then when it all condenses down into his actual final Elder Dragon form, well, we know what happens when a monster transforms and gets smaller. It's the freezer technique, and it just makes you all the more dangerous. He really can output just such overwhelming amounts of pure energy permanently around him in an aura that again disintegrates matter, as we saw with the arrow. It's really hard to overstate how impressive that is. And if it wasn't for the fact that I don't think he can maintain that, that's just a symptom of him freshly being born and overwhelmed with energy that eventually calms down to his normal state, he probably would be even higher on this list. So yes, a monster that also has a world-spreading rage raid apocalyptic S-nature a la frenzy a la curio, but with the individual dragon strength to overwhelm nearly anything. Coming in at second place, then, is Safijiva, the red dragon, the dropper of the sapphire of the emperor, and all-around swell guy.
Oh, well, I mean, thank you.
Not only is said Sapphire of the Emperor one of the single strongest attacks ever to grace Monster Hunter, a instant no matter what you are dead that can only be resisted by the monster's own hide and skin, well, he also has the stats to back up that elemental fury with the sheer size of him. The fact he can also regenerate a la Wolverine if he does have his home ground advantage, though can generally absorb energy from anywhere, is also a big deal. The fact that he is the red dragon, and, well, you know what I've said about monsters that get defined as color and then dragon. But I put it to you, this new piece of evidence that have come to light. A long while ago, I made a video about the monsters that I think could reasonably beat Fatalis in a fight. No, it's not simply, well, I guess everything else on this list probably has a good chance. Shocker, you might guess who's number one in a moment. But I made a video about the monsters I think have a good, reasonable chance, and I gave Safi the number one spot at most likely to beat Fatalis. And so many of you were like, I don't know, it's a push, man, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, woo-hoo-hoo. And you know what happened? Everyone that thought that, it wasn't actually most people, but a few people. Let me have my moment here. Well, we got the Iceborne lore book, the official ecology book for Iceborne, where the section on Safi'jiiva states him to be a designed equal and rival to Fatalis, the red to the black dragon. Ergo saying and stating that his power is on a level or at least equivalently approachable to Fatalis. Ergo, I put it to you,
Vindication!
So that was nice. That was good. That was good to find out. Good to see. So really, do I need to even say more? You guys know Safi'jiiva. You know how he be. You know how he fights. He has ridiculous energy output. He's ridiculously hard to kill, and he's also right proper massive. And size is nearly everything in the animal kingdom. So, ultimately, when we have, well, confirmation that he is of a power level equivalent to the canonically strongest monster, it's hard not to place him second. Second only to the canonically strongest monster, Fatalis in number one, of course. When you have kingdom-wiping flame breath that spreads across the entire battlefield before you, incinerating everything to a crisp, and you can spam that, and it's hot enough to melt steel inches thick in seconds, that is a physics-breaking feat of, well, terrifying nature, and it's not something you want to mess with. Melting hunters onto his body for the strength of their armor, regrowing from a scale, and indeed encasing hunters in Fatalis armor to become a new Fatalis. His legend is endless, and it is impressive to no end of degree. Whether he can regenerate from a single scale is of course a question mark, but we know that otherwise inert dead Fatalis material does regenerate from the mining cave in Freedom Unite on the farm, where you do mine Fatalis materials and then they grow back. So there is certainly some truth to his literal deadness still is alive in some semblance, and that by itself is whoa. But yeah, look, we have all played Iceborne, we have all fought Fatalis, you have all felt the fury of him and trembled at it, at least on your first couple of attempts, and we all know that he simply is the monster that all others fear, that all others avoid, that commands everything. And of course, technically Crimson and White are stronger Fatalis, but I want to choose base monsters here, so that's why it's simply, you know, generally Fatalis. He really is, and how else can I say this? All that. Alright then guys, let me know if you like this, let me know if you would change choices, let me know if you would like a few other Monster Strength Power-Up Lore videos, as they really are quite fun to do. For now though, like you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Consider supporting the future of this channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.